What is going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today I want to talk to you about SoFi. Holy crap, is today ever a massive bloodbath. I want to go over what's moving it, what shorts are doing, data points, everything that you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up, and with that, let's get right to it. So SoFi is down 13.81%. What I find weird is, of course, there's a hell of a lot of fear associated to the tariffs. Now you have just a lot of entities saying that we're about to head into a global recession. Just a lot of doom and gloom type of stuff. But what is very, very odd is SoFi down this much, whereas many other growth stocks are down, let's say 6%. I know it's still red is red, but SoFi, for whatever reason, is getting so much more kind of hit. And I've stated as more of a negative in the past that SoFi has been very safe, meaning in times of distress, their members are going to do fairly okay. I think they even mentioned the average FICO score, I think last earnings was 760 or something like that. Correct me if I'm wrong, but even looking at Robinhood, they're down only 10.57. So absolutely horrific day. No news from SoFi itself today, no SEC filings. We did have some data coming out first thing. So ISM services did go down from the forecast of 53 to 50.8. So this is the lowest it's been in almost 9 months. Aside from that, though, you did also have the initial jobless claims coming in a little bit lower than anticipated, which is relatively good. But now the market is starting to talk about rate cuts, not to combat against inflation, rather to prevent a recession. So a lot of fear is in the market as of today. So it's not necessarily the best. Plus you have right here just saying that Trump is not going to back down on any of the tariffs. If anything, he might potentially add a couple more. He's going to be looking at some specialized minerals, run a report and investigate that, and potentially tack on some more tariffs. So this is just not how the market had in their bingo card for 2025. Absolutely crazy stuff. But at the same time, you're seeing, just based on all the data, big money being the culprits on why they are selling, as well as algorithmic trading, but shorts aren't at fault today. So shorts are returning 119,000 shares. And I did bring this up in my pre-market video. Shorts, or SoFi shorts, they generally on red days like this, they like to sit back and just let the market do the damage. And if SoFi does start to kind of push higher and rebound, that is where and when they kind of double down. But 12.99% of the free float is being shorted, works out to be 139.99 million shares. Market does close in roughly 4 minutes, so this could change slightly, but I think as of right now, anticipate shorts to return. And even looking here, they haven't done really jack all based on the teal line. So they are just coasting. They're just enjoying today, all the bloodbath and stuff like that. Based on the options, 15 million in calls, 12 million in puts. 44% of all the options being done today are bearish in nature. A little bit higher volume, so 27.4 million so far, probably with the last 4 minutes in the market. We'll probably hit 28, but aside from that, 10.5 yesterday, 14.2. So kind of a good thing maybe, but still nonetheless this isn't good. I did ask AI quickly just to see, as far as SoFi, how, what was the biggest drops in its history. So it shows on November 9th 2021 15.3%. So today, because May 9th 2022 there was a 12.2%, so ultimately today is the second largest drop in SoFi's history. So yeah, crazy stuff. Give yourself a shout out if you did buy, if you sold. I was tempted, very, very tempted to buy today, but I didn't really see any recovery whatsoever across the board. So I feel like this will largely roll over into tomorrow. But again, it will come down to the data points. So tomorrow we have non-farm payroll, unemployment, and Powell. So Powell might actually save the market. Last time this type of kind of scenario played out 3 weeks ago, Powell did calm the market, just stated that the data points are solid, not enough to really cut rates. So it'll be interesting to see what he has to say this time. But aside from all that fun stuff, moving over here, of the call options that are being purchased today, you see a consensus for it to be roughly around that 12 to 12.50. So still a lot of optimism for a nice recovery. Bears are anticipating for it to be sub $10. Today was a very big day because it did break below that 200-day moving average. So I'll go over that in a second. But these are all the transactions occurring on the secondary market above $100,000. So you do see some buys, but still majority of which anything that shows as a bid is a sell. So you do see majority of the transactions being done are sells. As I mentioned, algorithmic trading is really suppressing not just SoFi, but across the board. But yeah, you're not really seeing any institutions really willing to line up and buy the dip for the most part. These are all the transactions on the dark pool. So as per usual, fairly active. So a lot of large entities as well as shorts like to use that. With it right now at $10.64, it is below this S1. So $10.91 is going to be a key one to really get over tomorrow. Flip side, $9.96. And that $9.96 is ultimately what I mentioned right here based on the Elliott Wave technicals. So it does have a pivot point of $9.95. So ultimately, moral of the story, if it breaks below that, then anticipate between that $7.85 and $8.63. So yeah, it's all going to be coming down to the data points, and tomorrow's going to be a huge day for the market. Oddly, there's a certain level of optimism that tomorrow will be a nice V start. So the bottom for, I guess, the market will be today. But at the same time, like, you're not really seeing any, like, there's 1 minute left in the trading day. You're not really seeing any level of buying right now. So I don't know. I don't really believe that tomorrow will be that green, but what do I know? But aside from all of that though, on the actual chart, so today it did fully break below that 200-day moving average. So historically, that does really mean a larger downtrend. And so last time SoFi did really break below that, this is where it kind of went in stagnant mode for a good roughly like six months ish for the most part, when it just traded between that $6 and $8 range back and forth. That is where it did stay below that 200-day moving average. So tomorrow is going to be a very critical day for it to fight back and get above that $11.27. So a lot of crap in the market, a lot of fear, but at the end of the day, as I've been sharing with you, if you believe in SoFi, just buy the dip, do what you need to do, because it's very hard to always catch the bottom, but to find good credible companies that is hitting the marks on growth and has done a lot of mitigating steps to kind of avoid a lot of unnecessary risk, which SoFi has definitely done through Galileo and also even just their basic business model. I think that SoFi should do fairly well. So yeah, let me know your viewpoint. Are you buying the dip? Are you selling? Are you tired of SoFi? What's your kind of 2 cents on all of that? One final thing, pop over to my Discord, completely free. A lot of good people there talking about stocks, options, crypto, everything that you ever need in life. So good group of individuals. So definitely pop over there and take a look. Like I said, it's free. Free's the best dollar value out there. So with all that said, appreciate all of you watching.